Fall time in the mountains of Appalachia. An overcast sky, the changing of the leaves. The trees decide to take on new life and new forms as different colors line the mountains. However, this is also a time for mountain folklore that pertain to ghosts and spirits to take form and come to life. We seem to fear what we cannot see, yet we seem to believe what we do see. Are the dead really laid to rest, or are they always lurking behind us, trying to make their presence known? Perhaps it's a cold spot. Maybe it's that dark shadow in the corner. Or maybe you feel someone is always watching you. It was my grandmother who always told me to be more afraid of the living than the dead, after all. At a very early age, it became apparent that I could see things, sense things, and hear things that others around me simply could not. Where most had imaginary friends at my age, my friend, however, wasn't so imaginary. Born on June 9th, 1981, at 6 pounds and 11 ounces, I was told that I was so small my own father was afraid to hold me, but he finally did in our first picture together. Him and Mom was a happy couple, and I was their firstborn son. I grew up pretty much having a normal childhood, despite seeing all these entities and spirits and even ghosts around me during my childhood days. It wasn't too long after I was born that my first grandfather had passed on my dad's side, followed by my grandmother a few years shortly after. I still feel his presence close, many times watching over me. It wasn't, however, until after my grandmother passed that I began having my first paranormal experiences when brought to the funeral home for the actual showing and the funeral. I was only 4 years old. That's when it all transpired, and I began communicating with the other side, or had the other side began communicating with me. I had witnessed several spirits upon entering that funeral home, but being a little boy, I was unaware that they were spirits or ghosts. However, I did know one thing. They noticed me just as I had noticed them. I could hear faint whispers. I could see them in pure view, and I knew later that night that something wasn't right. This was the beginning that my world had been opened up to all things paranormal, and communication began. I was only 4 years old, and to this day, that still continues.